It's Monday night, so we're going to do some Spelljammer asset production. We're give me a second here. Let me check my signal here to make sure that this is running live, and then we'll dive into it here in just a second. So I'll be around for a couple hours. Dive into it here in just a second. Cool. Okay, great. So it looks like signal's coming through clear. So I'm going to just grab this real quick and drop it into Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I just went live. So if you want to find out when I go live in the future, follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. And I'm also going to take a hot second here to drop signal across the Discords where I hang out at the Wild Jammer Spelljammer community. And hey, RP Jeffrey, it's good to see you, man. Give me a hot second to do all my data dumping here real quick, and we'll get into Spelljammer tonight. So let's see. I'm hitting the Spelljammer miscellaneous community and the DMsGuild Creators Lounge and the DTRPG Hub for one bookshelf. Indestructible Boy's Designosphere. I mod there. I definitely recommend you check out Indestructible if you don't know him. Durzazad is a branch off group from Indestructible, also kick-ass guy. Trent Monk, people should know. Dungeoneer Pack as well. Fry Minis. I'm just going to kick through names of folks that I hang out at and like to watch their streams of. Zipperon, Clear It Corner, Rich Mary, and every couple days we are allowed to drop an advertisement into the D&D Discord. So I just decided to go ahead and lob that in there. But my name's Phil. I build PDFs. I publish them on the DMsGuild. Right now we are building a supplement that's mostly about time, space, and scaling damage from 5 foot to 50 to 500 foot to 5,000 feet or a mile to 10 miles to 100 miles to 1,000 miles to 10,000 mile 10,000 mile square scale, because 10,000 miles per round equals 100 million miles per 24 hours. So the fastest a spelljamming vessel can move is 10,000 miles per round, which means that if they have a movement speed of 10 squares per round, which at the 5 foot scale is 50 feet, which is generous for what Wizards of the Coast had. At the 50 foot scale, that's going to be 500 feet. At the 500 foot scale, that's a mile per round of movement. And then you can ramp up your momentum just by, when you take a move action, you can choose to change your scale from either larger or smaller down to 5 feet, so you could slowly dock in and just kiss the side of another ship and be able to dock together smoothly. Or you can come in at 500 feet per square and ram him and then potentially knock his gravity off, cause everybody and all the things on the ship to take falling damage. The pilot loses concentration, and then for the rest of the round, your ship gets to volley into it with 0 shields. So you can potentially hit it like with mangonels, for example, can do up to 60 damage per hit. And say a star moth has 400 hit points. So it takes 10 average mangonel hits to be able to destroy a star moth-ish, maybe 12. And so if their weapons are down and you've got a well-loaded ship that's got like a team of 5th level characters that can potentially send out 4, maybe even 5 volleys a round, that's going to be around 150 damage. You scuttle somebody, you can potentially knock that ship down to half damage in 1 round. So that's how you can have, like, that's 1 round of combat. Pilot scuttles the enemy, and then the rest of the team works together to use their action economy to have the different weapon systems fire potentially more than 1 volley of ballista or catapult fire. So it's a really fast, aggressive 5e combat style system where you get to combine your actions to trade off weapons back and forth, to be laying commands, targeting systems, using your orrery to pop an infrared system to be able to target different enemies, and then have your arcane cannon fire off of volleys of arcane missile silos as a ramped up magic missile, for instance. So you can do all of that inside of the action, reaction, bonus action economy system that 5e has, except that you're using it in kind of like a Robotech gun missile system sort of visual effect. So that's what Spelljammer Combat Exploration is. And so what we're going to be doing, I should flip this stuff around. You got me monologuing already, guys. What we're going to do is 2 fun things. One, Adam Hancock, who created Orc and an Elf Had a Baby, as well as the Baldur's Guide to Kingdom Building. He's our editor, and he's going to be on board with us. Hopefully, when we complete the Kingdoms and Guild system, because it curves elegantly into his Baldur's Guide. It uses the same sort of mechanics. So those two things play together really nicely. So he's editing our document, and this is the random system generator we have in the back of the book. You don't have access to this file. This is one of the playtests. This is the actual live file that we're working on. And so what we have now is Adam's gone through and he's done just the basic cleanup stuff that goes along with edits. So this is one of the like making the sausage moments where it's like, we're talking about building a PDF. And so I build this thing, and this is the kind of text that I put into building the systems, a D12 for the system radius, and D12, the result is 100 million miles radius, right? So you roll on the D12 here, and if y'all roll 1, there is no system. The star and the planets are floating in the astral sea. Then I can roll 1d4 plus 1 on the table. So it'd be a d4 plus 1 on this table again, which means that it'd be anywhere from 2 to a 5. So it wouldn't actually have its own system. It'd just be a cluster in astral space, and I would then roll, it'd either be d4 or d6 million miles wide system, but there's no sphere. It's actually just in the astral void. That's like one result. Or the system could be like, if I rolled a 6 or a 7, it'd be d8 100 million miles wide. So then I'd roll a d8, and it'd be anywhere from 100 million to 800 million miles radius. So 1.6 billion miles diameter. So that's it's a random system thing that then it's like what's your central star, how big is it, and like all the crap that you would expect to have in a random system generator. But it's all built around working with my mapping system that scales you from 5 feet per square to 1 mile per square to 10,000 miles per square. And if you're doing a hex crawl over days, that square becomes 100 million miles. So each day your ship moves to a new square, and then you can zoom in on that map and have a 10 by 10 grid here of not of each square is 100 million miles, but if you zoom into like this inner system, it could be each square is like 50 million miles or 100,000 miles. Like if you're flying, like if you're traversing between Toril and Saloon, that's only 200,000 miles. So if you want to have things happening in the adventure between Toril and Saloon, it doesn't take it takes 20 minutes to get there on a spelljamming vessel. But if you're using a spelljamming craft, it would take you all day because they move 100 times slower than a vessel. They're little fighter crafts. They're like 15-foot skiffs with guns on them. They're little gunboats. There's little fighter crafts. And so they anchor and clip onto vessels. And when you get into a dogfight with another vessel, you deploy the squadrons they're basically infernal war machines from Descent into Avernus with wings. Is basically what it comes down to. It's pretty simple. And the hit points scale properly between 5 feet 50 and 500 feet. So it's a pretty smooth flow, and you can like group a bunch of fighter ships together into a 50-foot brick of fighter ships, so they become a 1 square at the 50 by 50 scale in comparison to like a dragonfly ship, for example, is a 2 by 2 because it's 100 feet long. At 50-foot square, it feels like 2 by 2 space. Anyway, we'll look at that. We'll look at all that. Anyway, the point is that we've got edits back from Adam, and me, sometimes my job is to just click a check mark because all he's doing is basically reminding me with every click that I don't know how the hell to build a goddamn table or a chart. I don't know how to build a random chart. So I'm paying Adam to help me make smart, and he's doing a great job. Plus he was really smart with insights about stuff just during the process in general by having feedback and how do you word stuff and all that blah blah. But that's the editing. Hey Hernetico, good to see you, my dude. But yeah, so like I said, we're building the book, and this is part of building the book is you actually lay down the text and then you hire somebody to make sure it looks right and it's not stupid, and so he fixes all my crap. So I end up clicking check mark like 100 times until I run into something that's interesting. Not like you used the wrong kind of X, stupid. No, it's like if he actually has like a comment about something, then I get to click in on that, like on the following table. Like he's just helping me clean up what's the proper way to word stuff from like monster manuals and DMGs and stuff, because he's got a more intimate knowledge of the 5e natural language than I do. It's totally worth me paying him to make the book sound smart. It's my ideas, but it's being filtered through him, so the words make sense. So editors are fantastic. Developing editors is much different from just like grammatical and syntax and wording. They're different. They're different roles. It was mostly Ukulele Bard and I that were hashing out the different mechanics that are inside of the book. That played basically Ukulele being the person that we were bouncing the ideas against with me was basically the mechanical developer process. So between the two of us, we were able to hammer out the document, and now Adam's going through and cleaning up the grammatical to it. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes just letting you guys, peek under the hood of how we build a document. And once all this thing is signed off, I'll just be able to cut and then drop paste it into Word. Is the document that is the program that I use to do my page layouts, and Word plays pretty nicely with the formatting of Google Docs. So that's smooth. So everything that's here should be able to pick up and drop into the Word document smoothly. And then once the edits are done, we'll spend sessions actually going through the process of doing page layouts, breaking up the text into visual blocks, seeing how they fit on the page, how many pages it's going to end up being, where complete thought, like can we encapsulate complete thoughts on single pages, or do we, or if we have to expand on a thought beyond more than one page, is there a way for us to make it a two-facing spread so that if people are going through the document as a PDF and they're doing two-face paging, then they can have a full thought contained inside of that space, and like maybe fill up any extra area with just illustrations and diagrams and shit, like all that stuff. So once we figure out how we're distributing all the information across the pages, we'll know where the holes in the text are, and then we'll import those pages into Photoshop as canvases for us to then paint pictures into the spaces that are open. And that's what we'll be doing on stream after this. So we built this book cover here on stream. That was, I think, back like around episode 20 or something. So and again, you can check out my books in the DMs Guild. There's a link down below. All the books that I publish, you can read them cover to cover, the entire book. Generally, my tagline is, if it's interesting enough that you want to use it, you should probably buy it. If you look at it and you're like, that's cool, but no thanks. But if you find yourself going back to the book, I gave you the whole thing to read. And if it's calling you back because there was something there that said, that's actually, I want to look at that again, that's when you should be thinking about buying it. Because that's when you're starting to value my opinion about stuff. And I'm giving that opinion to you for free, and I'm asking you to get me back on the other end of it, so I can spend more time making fucking art. So let's get back into it, man. Today we're doing tokens. So here we have what we did is we went through all the different ships that we have that are in the Spelljammer's Adventures in Space, and we extracted from it all the pictures of this is the Bombard, the first ship. So we took the Bombard, we cut out from the map that's in SAIS. We cut it out and we grabbed it here in Photoshop. And then we overlaid the outline with a black silhouette. And then I decided that it needed a sail because when I looked at it, when I looked at the image, I thought that sail is kind of weak. So I thought it'd be cooler to have a bigger sail. So I implemented like a big freaking sail that can just pull your cannon around. So that's how I built it. And so what we're gonna do is, I haven't done this process for all of them. Let's grab this one. Yeah, this is a flying ship, but I haven't done it for the flying ship yet. So we'll go through all that process from tip to tip. So, but since we're here in the document, I'm going to stop clicking on stuff because that's I can listen to like Magic the Gathering and like CGB and Legend VD talking about the newest deck tech, and enjoy that while I'm just aimlessly clicking check marks looking for something that isn't just like space edit error, question mark, like question mark should be colon, crap like that. But actually useful to us in the conversation currently is scrolling back up here into, here's the Yeah, here's the scaling from the labels on here aren't accurate anymore, but the gist is still the same. This is a 500 foot. Each one of these squares is 500 feet, so this 10 by 10 block is a mile. And if you then, while these ships are moving, they can choose to change scale, but unless they're adjacent to each other in adjacent squares, when they zoom in, this 500 foot square that the hammer ship is sitting in is now, this is that 500 foot square. Each one of these littler squares is 50 feet, and the hammer ship is 250 feet long. So it occupies a 5 by 5 space on the map. So when we're building these things like a flying fish, let's go up and look at the flying fish. Here's all the mechanics for, like, here's the fighter ships. These are 5 by 5, 10 by 10 blocks of 5 feet. So that's a 50-foot grid with 5-foot squares. Like, we got the manta ship, and we got a cuttlefish squid fighter, and we got a Nyogi spiderling, and an elven flitter that's a 10 by 10 50 foot, so it's actually a 50-foot ship. It's kind of a big hoss in comparison to, like, say, the goblin blades, which are only 15. They're only 3 by 3. They're 15 feet. They have a little bit of a tail to them, but they're still only 3 by 3s. And you can pack, you can fit 3 of these things reasonably into a 50-foot space. So you'd have a squadron of goblin blades, 3 of them filling up. 3 by 3 times 3 is 9 by 9. They fill in 9 by 9 squares worth of space in that 50-foot grid. So when they're using harpoon flingers and they're shooting them at you, like Mad Max style, harpoons are like thick javelins. Like, they weigh like 10 pounds a piece. No, like 2 pounds a piece, I think is what we worked it out as. But they'll do 2d8 damage a piece on impact. But if you, as a commander, like, say you're flying around in a spiderling, you have a ballista on your ship. It's big enough to carry a ballista and a crew of 3 people with it, and then you have your pilot up front who can be using movement and then issuing commands for them to fire the turret, and then using their bonus action to potentially make like a melee attack, to use its spiderling legs to do piercing melee attacks, so you can get onto a ship and start punching holes in it as he moves around. So you got this spider thing, this 40-foot spider crawling around your ship. Okay, that's a 40-foot spider, right? It almost fills this square. And this is your flying fish. So let's get up to where I was trying to get to and look at the flying fish real quick. We just shot past it. Hold on. Cargo capacity, towing, flying fish. No, that's a living. That's right. That's a. Which one is this? Yeah. That's the living ship. Hold on. Zoom in on that. Is that a living ship? Doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, that's totally a living ship. Okay, cool beans. Oh, that's right. I just don't have the train on the top deck, so I grabbed the lower deck. All right, cool. Anyway, living ship is 80 feet long, right? So that means that if each square is 50 feet, that's 80 feet. Now you got this spiderling thing that's chasing after it, and it's a 40 by 40 foot. It's carrying a ballista on it, so it lands and starts clawing its way across your ship, and it just starts shredding people on the deck with the ballista. So anyway, those things are dangerous. So like you have spiderlings that hang out in the giant night spiders. They're these mammoth 400-foot long ships, and they have this massive cargo bay. It just opens up, and there's a swarm of little spiderlings come out and just fuck your world up. So that's fun stuff, and that basically moves at the same speed as, say, 6th or 7th level characters fighting a cloud of like 8 mephits. The action economy breaks down almost exactly the same, except that the scale is 100 times bigger. So it doesn't feel like characters swatting at mephits with a sword and shooting arrows at them. It's more like you're battering your ship through these smaller vessels, while your gun crews on top of your ship are shooting them down as you skitter past them. You're bigger than them, so if you ram them, you're going to scuttle them immediately. So all you got to do is have your pilot invest in hitting instead of moving. You can either outmaneuver them by moving faster, or you can just barrel into them and start knocking them around and have your team shut them down. But there's a night spider carrier ship that's got like 5 ballistas and a mangonel on its back, that while you're fucking around with these little spiderlings, it's dumping 5, 7, potentially 8 rounds of siege weapons into your ship. So like that's a high level encounter. You're basically like fighting that'd be like fighting a chain devil and like six imps, for instance. The imps aren't a big problem at 12th level, but the chain devil with those imps causes you trouble. So it'd be a fun encounter for you guys to screw around with. Anyway, that's the rant, and so I'm really happy about the document. I love these mechanics. It's ridiculously dynamic. So what we're doing right now is we are baka color. That's where we're at. I've been messing around with color on this. So when we're doing just the basic black tokens, this is what we offer. Like if you're just doing black and white, low ink intensity, it's there you go. And you wouldn't even necessarily have the grid in the background, but I'll be offering it with and without grid. And if it were in this instance to be for this ship specifically, the bombard is how big is the bombard? Let's look at that real quick. The bombard is 140 feet long, and the 3 squares is 150 feet. So it sits inside of a 3x3 space. So the version that I would offer of this would be 300 pixels. It's going to be a 300 pixel image, and I'll have with grid, without grid, and then we have color. We have black and white, and then we'll have color as well. So, and if you're using color, I'm assuming you're using VTT. So I may as well offer it with the grid, but the grid can get misaligned and it can get a little messy. But they're not bad to have because they can help line up. So I think I will go with the grid on both the color and the black and white. That actually makes a lot of sense. But the reason we have the 3x3 space blocked off like that, and the reason I have made some of the aesthetic choices I made with this is to show that these ships are occupying the space that I'm showing that they fill. Like this is a 3x3 ship filling 150 feet, a 3x3 space at the 50-foot scale. So if this is where we're at, I need to be like, you don't want to think that you can line up 1, 2, 3 of these things, like 3 wide and like 3 of them in the 3x3 space, because these things have to be able to turn. If you hit, like if one of them gets scuttled and they're packed in tight, and this guy, he gets winged by something, so suddenly his gravity changes 90 degrees, that's going to screw up his brothers, and that's going to screw up the units that are next to him, and next to him. You can't pack them in too tight, which is why I have that limit of 10 squares worth of ship per grid. So if you're at the 500-foot scale, you can only have 10 squares worth of ship, whether it's 2 hammerhead ships that occupy 5x5 square space, or if it's 5, say, damselflies that fill a 2x2 space each. You can find a way to pack in more damselflies than 5 into the grid. But if you do, you start messing. The narrative there is you can, and if your DM wants you to, go right ahead. But everything that's in that square, if something gets scuttled, they're all going to get scuttled, which means that entire squadron goes down. And if you want to spin the action economy, getting all their shit back together before they can attack again, you can. But most likely, all that tight optimization of squeezing troops in is just going to give you maybe 1 or 2 less units to control. You may as well spread them out and have more units that are mobilized across. Instead of like having a shitload of damage packed into a tiny little square that all I got to do is flick it and the whole thing just scatters apart. Have low density ships in a wider area that you can maneuver around in a wider, more engaging way. So each team can potentially have their own squadron that they can push around, like with a bonus action, for instance, or whatever action economy they want to dump into it, depending on what the battle is. So so we have the way that we have these things illustrated is to show that it's occupying that space somehow. So in this instance, I wanted a bigger sail, not only because I felt like that type of a ship should, if sails are a thing, and this is supposed to be a boat that goes, I don't see, like on the water, I don't see any oars. They're not talking about oars. I feel like it should really have a big sail. Just so happens those big sails fill out the 3x3 space horizontally. I got some representation over here. I call that good enough. So that's kind of how we're building stuff. So what I think I want to do is, what do we want to do? Do we want to colorize this? Or do we want a black and white? Let's black and white the damselfly, and then maybe we'll play with. I think, you know what? Honestly, I think doing the wings for the damselfly might be fun right now. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to take my. Did I set an alarm? The answer equals no. So I'm gonna set an alarm here. So I'm on my 20-minute timer. That's actually perfect timing because I've got an hour and 20 minutes left. So give me a hot second here. Perfect. Perfect. There it is. All right, cool. So 20 minutes on the block. And pen in hand, take a sip. Man, that's good. This should be pretty easy. Here's what we do. We make sure that it is on a center point. There's already numerous art packs and ship tokens on the DM's Guild that literally match the outline of these ships. I could point you to at least 2 of them right now, but my point is that I am repurposing the art. I'm not even bothering with deck plans because this is a supplement to Spelljammer's Adventures in Space, which means you should already have the map. I don't need to provide it to you. But you don't have ship maps at the 50-foot or 500-foot scale because we didn't have that rule, or we didn't have that option until now. So that is what we are doing. We are offering options. I'm just going to fill this in just to make it a little smoother. I love the damselfly. They're such a freaking cool ship. They just look really neat. They are by far my favorite ship. They're just the way that they're built. It's really cool. It doesn't really talk much about like how do you get on board of it or not. I kind of always imagined that there was there must be a drop someplace. Like like the amount of distance from the bottom of these wings to its tail, like it doesn't seem reasonable that you'd have a ladder here. So it feels like these should be able to crook up, you know, and get out of the way so that the ground is here. But that's still pretty damn far away. So I'm wondering if there isn't a like you have a drop like that. I wonder if that's the proper amount of distance. Oops, I'm actually drawing on the map. I'm curious about that. Like if that's the low point here to here. Well, that works. But I wouldn't do it that way. I do it this way because I'm cool. Because that makes me feel like I'm Boba Fett. But yeah, I could do that. And then hell, yeah. And so it would be, yeah, back here. Nah, that'd be dumb. Because it'll really limit my loading capacity. But I could do it, ooh, God, I could do it like this. I could have it back like this. It's like when it clops up like this back half could clop up as well. Like it could be here, and then this could break like that, and then the whole piece slides up like that. So that's, yeah. So you could have a legit loading deck. That's pretty cool. Yeah, like that. That's, oh boy, that's a pretty sharp incline though, don't you think? Maybe I actually would want to extend that out to something that's not murderously long, or if it's possible to get that ass down lower. Maybe it's Man, maybe this is a 0G loader where they maneuver it so it doesn't actually land at all. So like the ship itself, like if this is ground, right, and this is where all the boxes are, and they need to load them up onto the deck. It's like, you know, get your ass down here. They're being literal, and that as long as the ship doesn't touch the ground, and it has its legs out of the way, it could literally just stay off the ground. You just need to have a pilot maintaining concentration to buoy the ship so it doesn't accidentally hit the ground, because if it hits the ground, it's grounded. And as gravity shifts, it goes clunch and it gets scuttled. But while it doesn't touch the actual ground, you could have a deck that goes right into the belly of the thing, and that deck is not the ship; it's just a ramp to the ship. So as long as it's a gangplank that's not actually part of the ship's frame, you can have one and just directly dump into here. And as soon as you hit this gravity plane, it would change so that this then becomes up as soon as you hit this transition point off the gangplank onto the boat. Kind of like a rival, how their gravity shifted 50 degrees when they went up into the vessel. So that's how this ship would work. That's how it would have to work. It's the only thing that makes sense about it. It's metal. It doesn't float. And it's got landing gears that are like hella huge. Like, dude, you do not need landing gears that big, my friend. Let's turn them into giant swords instead. So these legs, they're melee weapons that you can use as slashing. So your damselfly pilot can close distance and make attacks on an enemy, and he can use the sword legs to make slashing attacks for siege damage, like 1d6 times 10 slashing damage, which each one that he hits with. Then you can crawl around on the back of the Night Spider and start punching holes through the top of it and just claw open a hole of it, and then just duck around and have your ballista on your back go and shred into the Umber Hulk that was planning on getting onto your boarding crew to jump on your deck to eat your crew members next round. Nah, punch him full of holes. Fun stuff, man. And yeah, great. Right on, dude. Yeah, sorry, I'm not getting much art done, but that's what we're doing. That's where we are in the process. So thanks for hanging out, RP. It's good to see you, to do. If you catch the rest of the stream later, there'll be art, I promise. But that's what we're doing. So we are here at this point, and we are just smoothing out this side of the build. Like this. And yeah, it's just a fun way to play Spelljammer. It's a fun system, and obviously the scale that we're looking at, doing kaiju and like Pacific Rim stuff, is super easy using the scaling system. So whether I stay on the DM's Guild or I end up going astray into the world on my own and whatever orc or whatever it is that picks me up, wherever it is I end up landing, I can start using whatever system it is I'm with, this different scaling idea, to be able to build out epic scale anything for practically any game system that throws dice. It should be able to curve out. It's just a matter of which one do I want to use. For now, it's Spelljammer, which is 5e, and we'll see how the winds blow to see if I keep at that or if I end up switching gears or not. But here I am for now. So we're already committed to Spelljammer, and the conversion of Ladders or Axis is fun as hell. And I wouldn't want to. We put a lot of effort and fun into that, so I want to make sure that comes to fruition. That deserves it. I'm going to disable. I can just flat out delete it, can't I? Where's my delete button? Not the group. Oh, that's where I want, right there. Delete mask. Thank you. Gracias. All right, cool. So we go back up here into here, and we're going to we're going to copy, paste, duplicate, free transform, flip horizontal, and now here. remnant. Cool. Got our basic shape. Now, what we want to do is we want to fill. It's a 2x2 space that the thing fills. Damselflies are what, 80? No, they're 100. Damselflies are 100 feet long. So they fill the 2x2 space perfectly. Well, perhaps I'm a little imperfect. But hold on. Let's up the size a touch since we can. There, all the difference. So let's see. Okay, great. So what we want to do next is take an extra layer, and let's look at. Oops. Let's look at what we got going on. The damselfly. How do we want to do this? So we got back in the boat. That midsection there is here. I'm going to do this. Oh my god, that's almost perfect. Get the fuck out. Look how perfect that is. Oh my god, that's great. Nice. See that shit, man? That's fantastic. All right. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Somebody made $2,500 doing this. Literally doing this. And it wasn't me. I kind of am kicking myself for that. But, you know, I mean, that wasn't just selling stock art. It really was never my goal. Oh, crap. Did I really just paint that on that thing? That sucks. That was dumb. Come on, Kearney. You gotta be smarter than that, son. Let's do that again. Oh, whippersnapper. nice. All right, cool. I can get rid of that. And I can take this, cut, paste, pre-transform, flip, horizontal. Let's go. See if it looks good or not. Let's take this. Mark. Hit that mark. Hit that mark. Nice. Much smoother than what they offered me. Uh-oh. Too long. Gotta think, Kearney. You gotta think, sir. That's stretching outside the 250 space, so that is no good. I'm going to reduce that. Y'all are going to just let me do that. That's fine. What is going on? Get the hell out of my life, buddy. Thank you. Do I want to bother with that? Besides point to no. Maybe I want to just focus in. Let's be there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about much of anything. I'm pressing buttons is what I'm doing. Hey there. Phil Kearney here, pressing buttons. There we go. That feels right. Nice. I like how that sits in there. That's pretty nice. I can then duplicate that layer and then flip it around, make it horizontal, and then hey, nice time and timer. Keep it going. Week one. Yeah, we're going. Excellent. Nice. I just love changing all these legs into swords and spears and giant clubs. It's just so much fun. It's such a a much more brutal interpretation of the Spelljammer motif. Because I keep talking about it, but Totes for Real is going to make the awakened sidekick for these, where like this damselfly it becomes a sentient creature that basically it's basically 100-foot dog that runs around behind you, and as long as you treat him nicely, he loves you to death, and he's his own Spelljammer pilot. And you can train him to be a spellcaster or a warrior or an expert, and have him lean into one or another ability and fight and take damage for you. It's just badass, just freaking badass. I am super excited about pushing that out as like the first coupon expansion that I do for this book. That is going to be super freaking fun. Cool. Yeah, I think we should just leave that like that. So, okay, cool. So that is the here to here, there. So that token, that's the black and white token. There you go. There's a damselfly. That's, fly that into Avernus anytime you want. Start screwing Azrael up. Zariel, whatever her name is. Fresh meat. Anyway, that'd be fun. But yeah, it fills a 2x2 space. It's 100 feet long. There you go. It's got gun strap. Here's a question: whether or not I should strap weapon stations to the thing or something. Like, I know there's a what is the size of that? That's a 20. That's a 20 pixel. That's 20 feet. Because no, it's 100 pixels per square, and each square is 50 feet. So that means 1 feet is 2 pixels. 20 equals divided by 2, so that's 10 feet. So this is wow. That is literally the size that a ballista fills. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a ballista on this dude. Oh wow, it's lining up even. That's neat. Hold on. Wow, that's perfect. It's like that guy has a gun right there. I'm considering whether or not I want to put dots like them or not. Because it's not going to make sense at sometimes. Some of it's not going to make sense. Like the bombard in the next one, it's not going to make sense. Because that thing's like 100 feet long. It's cylinders, or it's like 50 or whatever. It's long. Just zoned back in. Sorry, I was distracted drawing Toad from Mario, who has a green beret. But hey, man, you be you, my dude. You be you. But yeah, I think I wanna. Yeah, you put like a little weapon dot on his back. That's kind of cool. Zoom in here again. Don't mind me, I'm just blushing pixels here. Perfect. Perfect. Blister on your back, and that's there you go. That's probably all I need for that guy. So we'll call that damselfly. Well, I mean, the black and white is done anyway. So let's go back to the bombard, and let's do the bombard. The bombard. D&D Beyond. Source.
Hi, I'm Todd Kenrick, and today we are...
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Go away. Horrible thing. Sources. Spelljammer. Astral Guide. Bombard. Let's check out your deck plan, buddy. Show me your skills. Yes. Got 2 off the back. That's off. Go. Copy, paste. We'll keep doing this until it doesn't work. How about that? Just... for transform. Flip vertical. Perfect. Nice. 4. That. Actually, I want that back. What is going on in here that's causing such a ruckus? Huh? That's what it is. Thank you. All right, cool. So we got the black and white down. We've got that there. Let's got this front part that I was fiddling with before stream started. Don't think I need the back end of that, so I'm gonna just burn that off. And let's grab some color samples from our ship to see how we want to paint this in color, shall we? What you got going on over here, buddy? I like that red. Ooh, I really like. Ooh, wow. Green is green flames. Egg Shen, explain this. It's beyond your understanding, Mr. Patton. Shut up, Mr. Patton. You were not put upon this world to get it. You're not after a tracker, after a girl. Girl with green eyes. Let's see, how can we play with that? We're just playing with the boat. I'm just gonna grab this and pull it over here like that. Yeah, so we have a comparison, and I think I am going to probably end up scrapping that. What does this button do? Not bad. Oh, you dirty bastard. That's 15. There. That paste. Thank you. yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing colors off of it just to see if things look cool or not. So I like the amount of I like how its value, its light value, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being white, 0 being black. This feels like you know, like an 8. Like yellow territory. And yeah, it's probably like an off gold or something. The way that the RGB is laid out smoothly like that makes me feel like it's like got like a goldishness to it, I suspect. I can't tell for sure. It's the problem with color blindness. You're always kind of guessing. But again, these artists were paid a lot of money by Wizards to paint something that makes sense. So I'm going to trust their color selection. And as I figured, normally, as long as I stay within somebody else's color palette and I understand why those colors are present, as a colorblind person, I can get away with it. And most people have no idea. So I used to be really concerned about talking about being colorblind, like I wouldn't get gigs or something if people knew I couldn't see color. But A, no one gave a crap, and B, I stopped doing commission work. So screw you. I just do my own work. So I self-fund my projects, which is why I ask for people to buy my books if they think they're cool. That's going to be underneath the sale. I'm going to grab these turret things here. But yeah, we only have a few creature tokens to do. We finished up the Cosmic Horror the other day. Horror. So that means we are down to the aesthetic, which we're doing next. The Lunar Dragon, which I'm not too thrilled about. It's a little intimidating to me because I'm afraid about being unimaginative. And then the Megapede, which will be fun because it's just a giant crawly bug thing. It's cool. Can't even fly. But let's grab some more. S'more. Before I dance away, perhaps there's a little bit more this might want to say. Okay. Let's go with that's probably not the right decision. That's where we're starting. So we'll see if something else makes sense as we go. So we're going to go here. We'll go Cannon. And I don't know how intense I actually want to get on this color stuff. That's a debate I've been having. Like how badly do I want to dive in on this? Those are both purple. This is like purple. That's cool. Purple's cute. Oh, I could just put down like a base wood color. That would freaking come on, genius. That makes sense. Cannon. And then let's go to oh boy. Yeah, let's do this. No. Yeah, let's do this. We'll do this color. So just like with the tokens, we built the silhouette, and the silhouette I feel was aesthetically pleasing, at least for this one, and for the damselfly as well. I thought those both look they just look cool. So I was happy with those results. So now I just get to go over that silhouette with color. It keeps the same. So it doesn't get too complicated too fast. So I have a limit of scope that I'm working in. It's only. This should be like 500 pixels wide. That might be true. Hold on. Hopefully that's true. Yep. 500 by 500. That's all this is. It's a 500 by 500 pixel space. So I don't have to murder myself on the details. The pixel, the resolution quite frankly won't allow it. So, but it's good deep pixel art. So I can certainly have a lot of fun with it. And since it's such a small, limited space on the palette or on the board, that I should be able just to have like a little rompy fun with it, and then just be able to hop on. Hopefully, I'll be able to find that I can just enjoy it a little bit and then hop on to the next thing, and it won't be a big deal. But we won't know until we actually play it out. if it's as easy and carefree as I hope it is, because it rarely ever is. That's the pipe dream. Let's see what reality actually feels like. And I want these colors to match up as much as I can, because I think sorry, I should stay on screen. You know what? If I'm leaning in like that, it means I need to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing with my pixels. Hey guys. This should be a spot for me to say like and subscribe, and accumulating hours, likes, and subscribers is the most important thing for the survival of the channel right now, as YouTube continues to analyze the algorithms of how likely is they to make money if I serve up this content, and that is a really good question. So tell them, yes, we love Phil's stuff. We like, we subscribe, we comment. Just like that. I don't think I'm going to do all of these boats on stream. I'm going to do some of them. I've been doing every token for the creatures on stream. And I don't know if I don't know. Maybe it's interesting, maybe it isn't. I guess I guess it will depend on where we're at. But as it is right now, pre-layouts, the only assets I have left to create for the overall package of the mechanics and the Light-of-Zaraxis conversion, all the assets that go into that stuff. I only have one actual combat map to finish, and that's the asteroid, the Nyogi Hunt asteroid map. And because we're rebuilding that to be less boxy, to be a little more, just to feel a little bit more organic-y. So that was my main complaint with the layout of the map, was how linear, square, like literally dungeon-esque it appeared, and I just thought I think it didn't have the right aesthetics. I mean, there's only so much you can do with corridors of asteroids, I mean, at some point, a duck is a duck, but I think I at least made it feel a little bit more flowy, so it'll be a little bit more fun to navigate. A couple, I think, better options, like more options for maneuvering around. I think that's useful as well. Probably want to play test that one again before we publish. So I'll probably want to just do a bug hunt basically through the asteroid belt. Maybe get a crew of 5 guys and dive into that shit. I got a lot of freedom. I've been working on loosening up my shoulder. I was having a big problem with that the other day on stream. 2 days ago, maybe, I was observing that, and I changed the elevation on my workbench and my seat, just to the camera and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got a lot more. I feel like I have a lot more freedom of movement now. I don't necessarily know how to control these. Like I've got this. I'm doing like this while I'm drawing those lines. You might be hearing that on the microphone. Hold on. That's me going. Where am I? Yeah, there. Going jof. Anyway, you get it. But yeah, it's nice to have that freedom of movement. I'm still shaking out a lot of the poison and all the feelings that go with that poison. It's been brutal in my inner space for the past few days, but that's why I'm a high level. That's why I'm a high level adventurer, because I can take on that shit and survive it. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, good. Glad to hear it. But yeah, Shoulder's doing pretty good. I have this. Man, maybe I would. A RPG that I would like to create. I don't know what system it would be yet, but the idea is basically the characters play exorcists, and what they do is they use psychic connections to dive into people's psyche. So if they're being possessed by a demon, that demon is controlling their thoughts and their actions, but the real person's in there somewhere. So the adventure is playing various sorts of exorcists, like an anointed knight, and another one's like a cloistered knowledge cleric, and like another one's just, like your split piece soup run of the mill priest, like generalist, and basically the three of them you prayer to dive into the psyche of the possessed person, and then they go through a dungeon sort of thing that it's the different type of psychological things that like different levels of sin, like shame and greed, guilt, malice, sloth, these which is like laziness, procrastination, have these different emotions that you have to fall through and dig your way through as an exploration hex crawl through somebody's psyche, and then once you find where the creature is, you're not supposed to fight and kill it. It's a demon. You can't kill it. But you have to open up passages in the person's psyche so that they can feel hope, which becomes like a ray of light, kind of like from Legend, where you would then be angling light to get inside this person's soul to be able to find where the demon is, and if you hit it with the light, it disappears. So there could be like a cluster of demons where you have to maneuver your light patterns around to be able to create sigils that can catch all of them in the loop, or like to have like a crossing pattern so you can hit different rooms at the same time. But like there could be like X amount of demons that are interconnected with each other, controlling different emotions and psychic traumas. And if you can isolate, like when you find all of them, you have to survive long enough to be able to mark all of them. But once all that are marked, you can then pull light in and it'll hit all the targets that you have marked, so you can clear that area, which may open up a deeper sorrow where maybe like a boss demon's at, or that could just clear it because it's a light, it's a light fix, and then you're done with that, rescuing that soul, as it were, and you move on to the next thing. I originally thought about that in Eberron because we were playing a Knights of the Silver Flame, and they're super big into exorcism, and the way that we always narrated it was that they're channeling radiant energy into creatures to free them, or to kill the demon, or however it is that you're playing. But I would make it a non-combat system so it could become more of a psychological exploration, and you'd be able to like have a solo game where instead of the DM randomizing different emotions, you could actually think about what's hurting you right now, and then you can look at the random table, what kind of demons respond from that, like what kind of emotions are attached to shame, and like you can look at like maybe there's a D6 that the DM would roll, but if there's something in particular that called out to you as appropriate for the adventure, then you could select that one, and you can go through this meditative process of sending soldiers down into your soul to find where those knots of hurt are, and you can literally find them by following the pain inside of your body. And what is it trying to teach you? Because that's what I've learned, is that if you follow the pain in your body, it leads to the thoughts that you keep in orbit inside of you by being in pain. I mean, that's just me, so it might not be true for anybody else, but as a psychological framework for an RPG, it's kind of cool. So we'll see if that ever goes anywhere. But that's the thought. Now, it reminds me of that. I need to iron out the details of my Exorcist archetype for my system. Excellent, man. Happy to channel that shit through to you. Happy to deliver that to you. But yeah, it'd be a cool campaign, or like a toolkit, like an Exorcist toolkit for, you know, whatever game system or supplement it is I end up investing time into in the future. For now, it's DM's Guild, but something like that doesn't have to be. I could easily take that outside of. I guess we'll just have to see, you know, what happens with 1D&D and 5e and all that stuff, and how all that shit shakes out. And so by the time I get done with martial powers, we should have a really good idea of where everyone's at. And of course, martial powers it goes with the other color mana books that I've already produced for MTG, so that obviously belongs on the DM's Guild as well. So this Spelljammer book, the Eberron Adventure, and the Martial Powers book are the only 3 books I have that I'm committed to placing on the DM's Guild, and I have the ability to take the squad, like the squads and armies, as well as the guilds and kingdoms mechanics of resources. They're independent of what, you know, the Spelljammer system that we built curves into those mechanics by design perfectly, but there's nothing that's beholding me to being on the DM's Guild. It's just a matter of changing the language to be able to use the same system in a different game. So it's just anything that can scale up in scales of 10 that have dice, that, you know, you're rolling dice to resolve damage and hitting stuff. I can translate the scaling system into pretty much any game. So it's just a matter of understanding what the action economy of the game is and how to translate it into weapon crews and moving a boat. But that's not too difficult. So I'm in no hurry. I think martial powers will be done, I reckon, in August. I suspect these things are going to be done in May. I mean, we're almost into Spelljammer layouts. Like, that's probably going to happen like in a week or 2, which is scary. God, that's scary. Layouts is always terrifying when they start. It's like as a DM, when you get if you get stage fright as a DM, you know what I mean, or just stage fright in general. But I always get stage fright as a DM, like those jitters. I used to be in a shitty high school rock band, and I sang, and believe it or not, but yeah, I was just crazy stage fright. But as soon as it started, like, it just disappears. It's just nervousness is excitement with nowhere to go. So it's, you know, so I'm excited to DM. I love DMing, but I play so much improvisation as a DM that, like, most of the time in my home game, I barely know what the hell's going on. Like, I have like a fragment of an idea of what I think they're going to do. Like, once I lay down the world map and the region and the general adventure, like dungeons and stuff that they're reasonably going to encounter, at that point, my job of design as a DM is done, and now it's just a matter of what do they stumble into when, and then, you know, the design process happens again when they open up new space or they discover something new that warrants visuals. Then I'll, you know, hammer out something for them to play with. But once those, well, I'm very spatial as a DM, and I blame first edition for that. All right, it is midnight there. Right on, dude. Get some sleep. I'm going to be done in about a half hour myself, and then I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning, doing more Eberron Cemetery. We're making good progress there, and I think between on and off, the Eberron Cemetery is going to be done this week. And we'll be working on the underground map probably on Monday or even Saturday. That's my prediction. So we'll see if I'm right or not. But dude, you get some sleep. It was great seeing you here. Anyone else that's hanging around, we're going to be around for another half hour. Be welcome to drop in and say hey. Like, subscribe, yabba yabba. But yeah, we're creating ship tokens. So these stripes aren't necessarily very, I was all like, yeah, this would be easy. Just pop, 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 crack this thing out. I'm sitting here arguing with these stripes. Well, what it really is I'm monologuing. What it really comes down to is because I always think of Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China, how he's on the how he's on this the CV, the radio broadcasting that truckers use, whatever, shortwave radios or whatever it is. I don't know the tech behind it, but I just know that they got the box and they got the microphone they hold up to their face, and that Jack Burton would just rant about whatever for hours while he was driving, just basically clogging the airway with inanity for basically anyone to tune into that's bored and just needs to listen to somebody to stay awake. He's just trying to stay awake himself. That's why he does it, to maintain focus. And I think it's great. I wonder how many drivers vlog like that while they're driving, like just talk shit while they're on the highway. It's like just like live streaming them doing their job. It's like I gotta knock down 300 miles today, and I got 6 hours to do it, so I'm gonna be on stream for about 4 hours, and whatever. I think that's a thing. That should be a thing. If it's not, it should totally be a thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's kosher or not. I don't care. Yeah, it could always be better, but I'm not going to murder myself over it right now. Just don't feel like it. Just kind of want to relax a little bit more with art. Just keep it fun, Keep it fun. I'm going to call that sale. I'm good enough with that sale for now. We do need rigging for that sale. Let's grab some rigging, shall we? I don't agree with it. I feel it's more like something like that. Let's go see what's going on down over here. God, all this purple. It's ridiculous. I think that's a coloring. I think we're having coloring issues here, and this isn't like a legit representation of what color this is supposed to be. But I kind of want to do it anyway. It seems like fun. Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? It's probably not right, but that makes it fun, right? You know what? No, I'm not going to do the cannon bar. I'm going to do down here instead. That's kind of a cool idea. That's kind of fun. The cannon, the cannon. I'll go with the cannon. Sorry, Sideshow Bob, but it's their special birthday wish. Kind of like the trim, honestly. Okay, hold on. Get out of here. First thing we gotta do is bind all of that up into color. And we can blop it off, and we can beep beep. Perfect. I can still leave it's the black and white iconography of it. Oh, that works out. I gotta admit, I'm pretty good at this proportioning stuff. I've been at it for a couple of decades. I'm pretty good at it. Jack Burton. Me. Who? Oh, wait, that's not right. There! Not that it matters, because, it's covered by... I did it badly, so it's a good thing it is covered by sale. God, hide my shame, please. Ugh. There we go. All better now. Do we want to... like a blackening effect underneath that, or... I feel like there's... What meets the eye? Let's get the green on. Hey, timely timer, keeping time. Thank you, sir. What we got? Got another 20 minutes left, so cool. Let's just keep on keeping on. You know what? I think I am gonna just make that jump black. Where? There. Yes. And yes. I'm happy with that. That worked out. Actually, we should probably duplicate that. Drop it back down, yeah. Let's go with the cannon. Sorry, Sideshow Bob, but it's her special birthday wish. False. How can we make this more fun? Let's do that. Let's just play around a little bit. I feel like I want something gray. Just off gray, a little red. That feels good. Here. No, get out of my life. Thank you. I'm gonna put underneath here. Smudge it out a little bit like this. Then we're going to make it bigger. I'm just going to pull the whole thing like that. And then I'm going to take this, do the same thing. smudge it out a little bit. Let me grab the whole thing and go like yonder. I suspect that looks pretty damn good to you color vision people. Feel free to burst my bubble at any time. I'll just give you just a little touch of a little greeny red to help counter out all that blue I think we got going on over there. I think we can get a good thing going on here. That's the sail. That's right, that is the sail. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have just a little kiss of green. I think that should make this play pretty good. So I got the purple going on here, right? So if I have this reverse going on with like this, just a little touch of green, that should theoretically feel good to your sense of color associated with like how to put like with this being like reddish, if I understand correctly. It's less purple. Fair enough. All right. Well, who knows? I just know that the numbers flip. When they flip like that, it generally makes you guys happy. Because people that don't see color, we can paint, and we can paint in color. We just have to use the RGB slider over here and some reliable art references for us to be able to do it correctly without giving up the game that we don't know what we're doing. But literally have no idea what this looks like. Like I can tell, if you were dropping into black and white, you'd be able to see the gradients as gray tones. But any aesthetic pleasing that you get from the color and lighting and stuff is just completely lost on us. Let's do that. What do you got going on in here? I don't think those lights are the right size, but I'm not gonna hold you to it. What if I do this? Oof. Nope. Little Naganooch. Let's not do that. Let's do it like this instead. There we go. Much better. There we go. I don't know, I kind of like those gun turrets like the AM. Maybe, that feels a little better. I think I'd be on board with that. So, you know, I honestly don't know if I need to. I can do a little bit, just a little bit more. Silly rabbit. That guy. Bah. And we'll go free transform and flip horizontal and scoot it over and no. Yes. I guess that'd be a decent place to stop. Too bad. Let's go look at the floor plans again real quick. Yeah, how about that? Oh, right. I am already racing. That'll do. See, I think I want to poke at the cannons a little bit more. Yeah. Black and white. Almost there. Yeah, okay, that'll work probably. Probably. Yes, thank you, Tyler Timer. We got 5 minutes left, and I'm out of here. And coincidentally enough, I got less than that to finish up this piece. Man, that ain't a bad looking ship, man. For 300 by 300 pixels, I think that's pretty freaking dope. I don't think there's any mistaking what that ship is. So, hell yeah, man. I think we're gonna call this a success for the day. It's time for us to wrap up anyway. I've got, as you saw earlier, I've got a shitload of buttons to press. So I'll probably settle in for a nightcap and listen to some CGB Ramble games, or who knows what's going to happen in my world in the next 20 minutes. But I look forward to seeing you guys in about 8.5 hours. So I'll see you. I'll see you on the other side. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Check out some of the other playlists that I have. I'm just got to grab up 4,000 hours. I got about 850, and I got about 124 subscribers. I need 1,000 at that point. They'll start monetizing me, and then I can start doing things with this channel. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but I thought I'd just throw it out there as something you can do to help. And that doesn't really cost you anything. But boy, I really appreciate you checking this stuff out, because once it's on DMsGuild, you'll be able to look at all of it. And these assets are going to be in a zip file. If you decide to buy the thing, you'll get all this cool stuff that comes along with it. So boy, I'm so looking forward to just having you guys just get this shit. It's so cool. Anyway, I'm here. I'm done for the day. I'm geeking out at that point, so that means it's time to disengage. There's our black and white token, and again, there is our. Oh, it's off. How did you get off kilter like that? Wow, what weirdness. This should actually be. Centered like that. I wonder how long ago that happened. Yeah, sits in that 3x3 space. So this would be a 300x300 cutout, and of course we can also reduce it down when we finish this up. We can reduce it down to thank you. Yeah, at the 500-foot scale. You know, just have one of them sitting there. There you go. It's like, because, anyway, whatever. It's you don't have to have it like you don't, like if you have a pixie in like roll 20 and you put the pixie in a 5-foot square, the pixie's going to fill the 5-foot square. It's not going to fill just a piece of that 5-foot square. Even though the pixie is tiny and is only like 1.5 foot tall, it's still filling the 5-foot square, because that's the finest level of resolution that 5e mechanics operate inside of. Therefore, also do we have these vessels sitting inside of a single square at the 500-foot scale. Then again, at the 50-foot scale, it's a 3x3 space of huge. It's a huge ship at the 50-foot scale. So, man, I like that, man. I'm proud of that. I think that's super freaking cool. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button again. I just wanted to geek out for a second on it, just because I'm freaking proud of it. I think it's cool. It's simple, but I think it's just. And this is just all these things are just included. Like, you don't have to spend an extra X dollars to buy all the maps and all the tokens and shit. It's just included with the book. So. You grab the book, you get all the mechanics, you get all the tools to use the mechanics, and we're going to walk through the whole thing with us on stream. So I'm just excited. So, okay, I'm officially out of here. I'm looking forward to Eberron map in the morning, so you guys get some sleep. I will too. We'll see you on